the life force of your bond. A power like light itself, unseen for generations. A dyad in the force.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Dyad in the Force. I am your host, Element 7.
And I'm Darth Choco.
There's Darth Choco. We are joined this week by @Freddy's Roommates here on TikTok. How's it going?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you so much for having me. It's funny because I feel like we talked about going on Dyad in the Force literally like months ago. And it just now happened.
But enough about you. How is Freddy?
Freddy literally just barged in. He was taking a nap. I thought, I was like, all right, I'm gonna sneak in. But if you don't know Freddy, he's always by my side. It's like he's like my shadow. And somehow, some way, he made me here just to plop himself down on the ground. He's doing good. He's living his dream.
That's good to hear. Good to hear.
Yeah, I mean, do you want me to call you Justin or?
You could just call me Justin. Yes.
Okay.
For all the listeners and the watchers, my name is not Freddy, but my username is Freddy's Roommate. People do that all the time. It's very funny.
I was just about to ask you because it's Freddy's roommate, meaning you are obviously not Freddy, but people will take the username and shorten it. So
Exactly.
I get people like, "How's it going, Darth?" Like,
Weird.
don't like that. No, pass.
I wonder.
Very odd.
I wonder if there was ever a point in time where somebody wanted to or has referred to me as just 7. But Element's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But yeah, as Justin was saying, like, we did plan this months ago, and that is entirely just how podcasts work. I mean, schedules have to align, especially ones that are live like ours. Schedules have to align. Topics have to also be available. And I'm not going to say unfortunately, because it's not an unfortunate thing. I think that the actors need to get their fair share. They need to get their deal. And once that happens on Monday, hoping we can all drop our huge content bombs on everything that's been going on ever since the strikes happened.
My only regret is that no one will know how right we were ahead of time during a lot of stuff, but whatever.
Really? Right? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like we hosted a lot of like watch-alongs for that show.
Space Wizard show?
Yeah, the Space Wizard show. And throughout each episode, we would call things out. And we would be right. But there's a lot of like speculation and theory and lore drops that we need to do. Because
I need people to shut up about Abeloth. Straight up.
there's some
Stop
stuff
it.
out there that is
Knock it
just
I don't even know what you're talking about.
and that's fair. It's a book character, but like it's one of those things where if people who haven't read the book will see a YouTube synopsis and be like, this evil person, oh, it must be them. But like if you read the book, you're like, no, it's not. Like I may as well say Voldemort is coming, and then you're like, that's stupid.
You can't say the V word.
That's true.
Jeesh. But speaking of
Vagina.
Voldemort, the other week I saw Harry Potter the play Harry Potter, Cursed Child.
oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
New York, right?
I did, yeah, that's where I was. And it's funny because like since the strikes are going on, the companies want me to review Broadway plays right now, and it's very interesting. Very interesting. Are we like? Can we talk about that really quickly?
I feel
Are we
like
allowed to talk about Broadway plays?
Yeah. Okay. So we're in a weird bubble where we don't want to promote struck work, but this is also a podcast. So it's not a conversation, but it is a select group of opt-in people. It's not an advertisement. So talk about it to your comfort level. That's what I'll say.
Okay. It's just funny because I guess this is a free for all. I guess we can talk about whatever you want, but I think it's just very funny because I'm not a Broadway person. But what kept happening is there would be these moments of like they would turn to the audience and be like, "Isn't the source material awful? Isn't the source material so racist, sexist, da 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 da?" And I'm like, I guess. Like, perfect example. Have you guys ever heard of the musical Six? You know,
no.
like it's a musical about Henry VIII's ex-wives, right? And they turn to the thing and like they turn to the audience like, isn't Henry VIII awful? Isn't he the worst? And I'm like, yeah, that's why we're here. We get it. And then like when it came to like Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, there would be moments where the main character would be like, wasn't Harry Potter awful? He didn't know his spells, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, okay, I guess, but didn't he defeat the Dark Lord? I don't know. I'm not that big of an expert at Harry Potter.
That's so bizarre because like in the past that was relegated. So I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen something on. Well, it was off Broadway. Last time I was in New York, we saw Young Frankenstein. Awesome show. Had a blast.
Ooh, okay.
But like, typically that stuff was reserved for epilogues, right? Epilogue is literally Greek for additional speech, where they like the play is done. We are talking to the audience and giving commentary on stuff. It's weird to drop notes in between, but it's like but it almost feels like they like stop the play to be like, just so you know, I have black friends. So the subject matter is not questionable. Like they were bad. I'm saying the word, but I don't mean it. I got black friends.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, it's like I wouldn't have noticed it because I just saw so many back to back. I saw 4, and I was like, man, this keeps happening. It is normal. But if you're regular like Joe Schmo traveled to Broadway to see this show, I mean, you're not gonna notice it as much as I did. But I just thought it was interesting. And now I want like Broadway plays based on everything because I also saw Back to the Future the musical, which is also very fun. You guys would really like that. I promise you would. It's very good.
I do want to see it. I do want to see that.
I didn't even know one existed.
No,
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so for me, I always thought these shows were all stuffy, then they're for stuffy people, until I started seeing them, and I was like, "Word? This why am I missing?" You know, and that, like I said, last one I saw was Young Frankenstein. It doesn't have to be some ancient literary masterpiece that I'm supposed to bow down to. And so stuff like that is super intriguing. But yeah, I want to hear what you had to say, but also if you could walk us through how this came about. Where did it come from, you being someone who's not typically into theater?
No, that was the shtick. I'm not into theater. I'm not into theater at all. But I am grateful for the opportunity because of the strikes happening, there was an opening, and I'm just some guy from Ohio. Keep in mind, I can't talk about movies, but there's a plethora of things on Broadway that is based on IP, movies, all that stuff. And this company was like, what if we got someone who's not in this world to talk about what's going on in this world? And I'm like, absolutely. I will absolutely happily do that. That was 100% to me. I needed something to talk about. I got to go to New York. It was a wonderful time. And, but as an outsider, I'm like, why do they do that? Why do they do this? This is very odd, you know? because I don't know the history or like the quote unquote lore, the Broadway lore.
Broadway lore. Yeah.
You know, yes, I'm like one of the plays that I did see was a play based on Jaws. It's called The Shark is Broken. Yeah, and it's basically about the making of Jaws. And when they were making Jaws, the shark it had an hydraulic system to close the mouth and move the body. But apparently, when you put hydraulics in water, it like fills up. And so like this 100-pound shark became a 500-pound shark because it's like filled with water, so it would constantly break. And so the play takes place with them on the boat about to shoot with the shark, and then it breaking down, and then like them going crazy, and they're out in the water and stuff like that. And I thought it was very good, very fun, and very heartwarming. Weirdly enough, too, because the guy who plays Ian Shaw, or the if you've seen Jaws, the shark hunter guy, his son is playing his father in the play, and man, I didn't believe cloning before, but this guy was a clone. Like, you can put him to, like, how somehow they cloned the shark hunter from Jaws. But yeah, that's probably my favorite one of the bunch, really. So go see Shark is Broken and Back to the Future the musical. Those are my two recommendations.
I do wanna see the stage production of Newsies, because I grew up with Newsies, the Disney movie, like way back when, like with Christian Bale, and that was my favorite. That was one of my favorite like musical movies, and like I hadn't seen the newer one on Broadway, but that's something I definitely want to see. I think I saw Cursed Child back in like 2018, and for the life of me, I can't tell you what happened.
You know what's funny? I guess we're talking about Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Spoilers for anyone who has not read the book or seen the play. Anyway, here's my review of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Anyway, what's weird about that is I saw the condensed one play version of it. I don't know if you saw the 2-day version of it. Did you see that?
No, it was the one night.
Yeah, and for me, they talked so fast. It was like a mile a minute. And the guy who plays Harry Potter's son was like, it was almost as if like he was in pain the entire time. It was almost as if the words like poured out of him. But like normally that would be an interesting artistic choice, but in
when
this
you
case,
got kidney stones, but the show must go on.
Exactly. Like, and they would talk so fast, and like the British accent wasn't helping. So I'm just like, what is happening right now? Like, what's going on? And forget about accuracy to the lore of what this is. You know, like just throw that out the window. Don't even worry about it. Don't even think about it, because spoiler. I'm gonna ruin Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. So you know how like Harry Potter, there's Harry, Ron, and Hermione, right? They have a similar thing. They have Harry Potter's son, Draco's son, and then this random girl, right? Turns out this random girl is the daughter of Voldemort and Bellatrix Lestrange. What? Can you believe this? How old is she? Turns out she was born right before the Battle of Hogwarts. You're like, what the heck? Bellatrix was pregnant? I know, right?
Yeah, no, I got questions.
What was going on? What happened? It's the same thing I heard when like, actually, I can't talk about Palpatine, but it reminded me of Palpatine like having a granddaughter. I'm like, but it was just like, oh man, it threw me for a loop because I couldn't. Now I had to think about how it happened. Like, okay, Bellatrix and Voldemort and wait a minute. So you're telling me this, that, and the other, and they while they were in that time, this happened while they were doing this. I couldn't take it. I couldn't handle it. Right, but some of the stuff, the magic on stage was really good, and you're like, man, hey, and I'm a black guy. I'm gonna love a magic trick. I'll be real with you.
That's true.
It's
Did
like,
you stay in the seat?
ooh, but what's weird?
Did you stay in the seat, or did you have to run up the aisle?
No, I stayed in my seat. I did not have the typical black reaction, but I was shook at some of the magic. But what's weird is what they really tried on and what they didn't try with. It makes it, like, for example, like all like the fire stuff, they would like make the fire appear and you're like, oh, okay.
The magic was great. The magic was great in that production.
Yeah, and then they had the whole Dementor thing. I was like, oh, that was scary. But there was this scene where someone conjures a what's it called? The ghost animal.
Patronus.
Yes, someone conjures a Patronus, and it's just the head of the Patronus, and it's a guy holding it. You see the guy. He's not wearing like a black like suit to blend in. It's a guy with like a little like handle, and he has like the thing, and he goes like.
On our production, he was wearing a black suit.
Really? It was the sorting hat guy who did like the Patronus thing. And I'm like, I get it. If you're gonna try, you know, like let it all work for me, you know. Or I don't know if the fire code wouldn't allow this, but like do the whole body. Come on, you know, like.
Yeah,
come on.
I feel like it was like what Choco said. It was a show must go on type of thing. I think that guy forgot his suit.
It's supposed to be a different person, and you're just like, you get over here, and it's like, all right.
That is fair. That is very fair. That could have happened, but it was long. It was like way too. You don't know why certain characters were doing certain things, and once you want to sit in like how they did what they did, it won't let you. It was very weird. Yeah. So I'm gonna give Harry Potter and the Cursed Child one of these. Like, you know,
gonna give him a Zangief from Street Fighter.
I mean, I had a good time. I had a very good time, but the lore was just something was up. You know, it distracted me from what I really wanted. You know,
here's a picture of
I want to see
in Cursed Child. Check out that hair, bro.
Whoa.
Okay. All right. I see it.
Jeez.
No. One of the ones I want to see. So when I was in high school, I did jazz band as a percussionist, and as in jazz band, they make you play music for the plays that the school puts on. So I want to actually see Into the Woods and not be running around like a madman as the only percussionist. You know what I mean? And actually experience it, and not like trying to do runs on the vibraphone as they're running up and down stairs and stuff like that. So someday, that's the goal. There was... Oh, go ahead.
Just wanted to catch up with the chat really quickly. Denzel Green did say a while ago, join the dark side, scab. Oh, just kidding. I respect that you guys don't cover the struck work. Also, Jedi Historian asks, "What's up, guys? What are we discussing today?" It's a forum, really. We're just talking about anything, and currently we're talking about stage shows and stuff.
I'm so sorry. We can talk about something else. I talked way too much. I'm so sorry.
This is what a free forum is.
There was actually something that you were talking about that I really wanted to talk about with you. I even, when you said you were going to come on, I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to stitch his video so I can talk to him in person first. And that's the cinemacification of movie criticism.
God.
And you specifically mentioned Signs, which it's okay. So for anyone in the audience, the movie Signs, right? The aliens come. The aliens die when they're exposed to water. So CinemaSin says that's a plot hole because Earth has water on it, and everyone just run with that's not a plot hole. That's just something you don't know the answer to. If their planet got destroyed and they had to come to Earth because there's literally no other place that would sustain them, that's valid. And the thing I wanted to stitch to you and say is the thing that gets me is the amount of white people saying this. And I say that because a lot of white people can't handle the sun. It's the same goddamn thing. I lived in Huntington Beach for 6 years. I live in Oceanside now. I've had so many friends we'd go to the beach with. They'd get sunburned and be like, oh yeah, I forgot about sunscreen. And we're like, you live on the earth.
You live on the earth.
That's the sun. How do you forget? It's
there every single day.
And the same people, I don't know. You see what I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'll let you respond.
I'm more surprised by the reaction to it. But maybe because I'm 28 and I was raised by YouTube in a lot of ways. If you look at my content, like, you know, a lot of my style is not original. You can look at Anakana, you can look at Jeremy Johns, you know what I mean? Like, my content is very similar to theirs. And
I love both of them, so it works.
Yeah, and it's like
I disagree.
When you disagree about what?
The content is in your voice, your personality, and that is original.
It's like, but
yeah, if Jeremy Johns did the same black stuff you do, I'd be pissed.
That is true. I think the thing is, it's just like, when I say I was there when everyone cared about plot holes in the MCU. I was there when videos went from like cool, like 3-minute, like wonderful things to like 40 minutes to an hour of like talking about details and Easter eggs you missed in this, that, and the other, you know? Like I was there, I saw it happen. I saw the effects. And it's not, like I said in the entire series, it's not all in CinemaSins. I promise you it's not. It's the combination of the rise of franchises and the rise of algorithms wanting longer form content, algorithms wanting rage baiting, or rage being the most engaging thing, or people wanting things explained to them or things like that. Like, that's not new, but CinemaSins like really profited off of it. And I think what's the whole signs of it all, it's like, I get it. Like, I'm not trying to make Signs work. I'm not saying Signs is an Oscar-winning movie. I'm not saying Signs is the best movie in the world. But there are reasons why artists choose to do the things that they do, or put the things in their stories that they do. It's not. We don't live in a vacuum. You know, we don't live in a vacuum. There's a reason. Our own and sometimes movie history and movie lore informs some choices. I think a lot of times, and if you look at the video comment, I comment back a couple people. How do you kill a vampire? What? Stake through the heart? Sun? You're gonna tell me vampires live on a planet full of sun? Doesn't seem accurate to me. You know what I mean? Like, and the aliens or the villains having hubris and being wrong in a movie about signs, about things, about faith. I don't think it's that far-fetched.
A preacher finding his faith again and learning that the things that made him fall out of faith were actually put there for a reason. That's what the movie's about. And like, the other stuff, if the movie was from the perspective of the aliens, we can learn more about the aliens. I don't know what to tell you. That's just not. I don't know.
Shout out to Nicole Mirosella. Oh my God, it's the famous JJ.
I am not famous. I met Nicole in real life, and let me tell you, Nicole is taller than she looks. I thought she would be like at least like 3'4", but no, she almost reached 5. Like, I was surprised.
She said 3'5".
Wait.
Yeah, no, Nicole's very nice in real life. Very nice. A wonderful friend.
I had the opportunity to meet her in person.
Yeah, we met, and don't hate on short queens and short kings, man, because like we were seeing eye to eye. That's the most important thing, right?
Nicole called me bald when I met her last time. It's very funny. We went to a very good pizza spot. Thanks for the recommendation, Nicole. But next time in New York, we'll hang out. I promise. A pinky promise.
Oh man. There's something that you said. Well, on this topic, I feel like I want to clarify that Jeremy is a great guy. I love CinemaSins. Where the disconnect happened is a lot of people stopped being literate with media, and they could not see the satire in his content and took that as critical analysis.
Yes. Satire.
I want to push back on that. Oh, is it satire?
Yeah.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say yes, it's satire. But the important thing about satire is satire is aimed at a specific group of people. So if you know the original and then see the satire, it's funny because it's a juxtaposition of these two things. If you don't ever see the original and the satire comes out and you think that is the thing, and then people just start rolling with just that. And so that's why I think satire is largely like a generational thing that needs to, I don't know, stop.
I don't know about you guys, but I grew up on all my peers watched South Park, and everything was okay because it was satire. And like the problem with that is like there was no, with South Park specifically, there was no, sometimes when you have serious topics or you're dealing with people who are already to the nth degree of whatever, satire is not a good vehicle to portray the seriousness or the ridiculousness of this topic. A lot of people talk about how SNL kind of failed during the Trump presidency, because the guy was already being ridiculous. Like, how more funny can you get when he's actually doing that, There's no like exaggeration involved, especially when there's real people being hurt by that. And like when it comes to CinemaSins specifically, is it satire when is it satire when there's no like there's patterns in what you're talking about? You keep bringing up the same thing. It's like there are a lot of people on the internet who are complaining about this, that, and the third that you are saying in a CinemaSins a sin, if you will. You know what I mean? Like, is it, for example, here's a perfect thing. When an intro is too long for the CinemaSins, intro is too long. Ding, that's a sin. Or someone's eating an apple in a scene. That's a famous CinemaSin. Like, yes, that happens. But where's the ridiculousness in that? Where's the like absurdity? There was no absurdity to it. You know what I mean? You notice a pattern in a lot of movies and it annoyed you, and I get it. It doesn't have to work for you. But like, movies have a language. Movies have a history. There's art comments on each other, and maybe that's why you see patterns, and maybe it doesn't work for you. It doesn't have to, but there's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? Am I making any sense? I'm so sorry.
No, you're making perfect sense.
I think the absurdity is the repeated use of that. The absurdity is to point out the intro is too long, because there were some videos that he did where he didn't point out the intros were long. I think when you went like during the early days of CinemaSins, he would do a lot of IRL videos, so telling people that he was just joking about a lot of the stuff that he would mark as sins. It's just funny, and a lot of it becomes mainstays of the channel. So like another thing that became a staple was 40 seconds of logos, and like that's not really a sin. It's just something that he became known for, and the absurdity was that it would be a sin to some of the movies that just had like the most critical praise ever. And so when I say that Jeremy's a great guy and it was largely satire, I think the problem was that people forgot why he was doing it, and I'm not gonna skirt his responsibility in this, but he did, like, it created monsters. It created people who would literally do sins, but think that is critical analysis, think that is, valid criticism of the medium itself. And so, like, you would have Jeremy doing 40 seconds of logo, ding, and that's like a joke for most of his videos. And then you'd have some up and comer YouTuber sees Force Awakens and he's like, gosh, 40 seconds of logo, this shit sucks. Like, you'd have people just taking it literally at that point, and forget the absurdity of it, which was,
largely what we're talking about is intent versus impact, and it's a very difficult conversation to have, because, like, there's certain people, mutuals of mine, like Megan J. Stubes, love her content, love her, amazing person, and is very adamant in their role as not being a film critic, which is true. But if people are using you as a film critic, you might end up being a film critic. You know what I mean? What is the intent versus the impact? I personally share a lot of film proclivities with her. So yeah, I look at her as a critic. If she likes a movie, I'll probably like it, Yeah, it's intent versus impact, I think is the main thing. But as time goes on, I think satire is just something that just doesn't ever age well. I think it's always very in the moment. I don't think it ever, if I look at, like, Fight Club, which is a satire of toxic masculinity, is emulated by the toxic masculinity group. If you look at Starship Troopers is a movie that was intended as satire. The maker is pissed off because people like it for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? I think that's just a common mainstay.
Yeah. Hello, Fern. So yeah, I think in general, to an extent, I agree. I blame CinemaSins.
I have a question, because I don't know if you guys are on TikTok like right now, because a lot of things are heated right now on TikTok. What responsibility does a creator have for their audience and what their audience takes from their content and what they do with that message?
Whew, this is a tough one, because I have a lot of beef with people because they will say things that will rile up their fan base to go attack people, to do this, that, and the third. And they're like, well, I didn't say this. I didn't say to do that. So therefore I'm good. No, if you are, I'm not responsible for how you respond to what I say, but I am responsible for what I say, and I am responsible for how I say it. And if I know that it can lead to other people being hurt, or even if I find out about that after the fact, that is my responsibility to clear up. It is my responsibility to say I do not condone this behavior. It's my responsibility to say, if you follow me, if you value my insight, do not do this. That is my beyond that, I can't control it. That's me doing my due diligence. And that's largely where I land on it.
Interesting. So, Choco's canceled. Anyway.
I've made this argument way too many times. I literally made an open letter to Star Wars Theory And
what?
yeah,
I missed this.
On the Dyad and the Force YouTube channel, I literally made an open letter to Star Wars Theory, and I was like, listen, you have as much responsibility as you can control. And we get it, right? There's so many like, I can't control what my audience does. And we get it. I can't control what my audience does either. But what I can control is what comes out of my mouth. Right? And so if I'm sitting here riling up negativity, talking about, how much someone sucks, and that's the entire person, that's my entire personality, people are going to take that and run with it. You're not responsible for someone else's actions, but you're responsible for putting them on that path. Especially if you have a large platform. To say that you are an influencer and you do not have influence would be stupid. To lie. And so I can tell people, listen,
bars.
Don't go and harass this person. Don't. Not in my name. If you follow me, we are respecting everyone's opinions. Don't attack them. Don't harass them. And that's as much as you can control. But if you want to take a back seat and say, I'm not part of the problem, therefore I'm part of the solution, you're lying to yourself.
Never acceptable.
Because my worry is that we are unfortunately in a post CinemaSins world. Mm-hmm. And I am saddened. I think about this a lot, way too often. I'm saddened that like we have gotten to the point where a lot of content is debunking, this is why this is awesome, this is why this is great, you're wrong, actually this piece of art is amazing, or whatever. And now we're at the point where like I can't help it. I can't help that that's what content is right now, And I'm wondering if there is a third way, a way where we can make our content about the things that we love that is not set up in a way to debate, if that makes sense.
Well, here are 5 reasons why what you just said is incorrect. No, I get it, and
you know what I mean.
It honestly is a large part of why I've slowed down with creating content, because there is what I want to say, what I enjoy saying, and there is what people watch, and what gets views, and there is a difference between those two things, and yeah, I don't have the answer. I see it, and I do love clearing up misconceptions, and I do love pointing out logical fallacies. That is something I actively enjoy. But yeah, I don't want to make content that's just fighting people, and that's what slows me down.
Yeah.
Oh, you're muted. You muted yourself. Justin, you're muted.
There we go. Anyway, as I was saying, I won't repeat that amazing point that I just made. It's lost to time. I'm just saddened that fandom is just so combative right now. That's another point that I should have made in this sensification of movie criticism.
Just to kind of like add on to that, just recently, there's also a point where people think that they want to do that, but can't. And I don't know how up to date people are with videos that I've made, but we literally had to take down a video because the creator that said fight me on this, and I'm welcoming spirited debate, could not in fact handle debate. So when they presented a debate video and asked people to fight them on this, we responded in kind. And we didn't really even disagree with their premise. Like we were kind of just correcting, facts that were incorrect, about, misconceptions about the Jedi and stuff, and they didn't like it. So there was some pushback, and yeah, out of respect to a mutual, I took it down, but at the same time I was like, no, this isn't happening ever again. If you want to debate, we will debate. Whether it's live or through response videos, it's fine. But other than that, you can post whatever you want. I feel like this goes along with, like, you can control what you can control, right? And so, if somebody is talking about what they love, I personally control what I can control, and don't make a video about what they're talking about, because they're just talking about what they love. Like, if someone makes a video about Rey being the best character, I'm not gonna stitch them and say, no, I think Satele Shan is better. Like, I'm just gonna let them have that, But there are videos that invite debate and say, tell me what you think. I'll make a video like that and tell them what I think.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but maybe there's a certain show about, I don't know, space things happening that says you shouldn't fight what you hate. You should save what you love. Maybe the path isn't to fight at all. Maybe you shouldn't fight your decrepit father in front of another old man. Maybe you should put down the weapon and save what you love. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
No, you're not onto something, but I hope that people see that that Pep and I choose our battles well, because it's never based off of personal headcanon or personal opinion that we make content. I will say that this very same space show has become a breeding ground for Nazis.
What? I'm not on the street like that anymore. I'm not outside like that. So yeah.
So there's certain aspects of things of, like, listen, if you say I hate Mace Windu, awesome, more power to you. If you say I love Anakin Skywalker, awesome, more power to you. If you say Mace Windu is the sole reason that Anakin Skywalker turned to the dark side and it's all the Jedi's fault, I would be like, they didn't even interact much. Like, if that's a brittle ass spirit. If saying to take a seat once turns you into a Nazi, like, there's a discussion that I feel warrants something. And again, in the community, there are issues with racism, with sexism, with all these things that are common, and it's not everyone, right? But it's enough. It's too much. And I don't ever think that not talking about those issues makes them go away. Historically, haven't seen that happen yet.
Yep. Captain Benny in the chat, just to kind of answer all of those questions, we will not be talking about that or covering that until the strikes are over, specifically the SAG strike. So get ready for Monday. If the deal happens on Monday, I think if the deal happens on Monday, I'm gonna go live
and just
answer
like
all these questions.
Stream of consciousness, just talking about everything, because I have a couple of things I want to talk about as soon as the strikes is over.
Yes, same. So Fern says in the chat, I wonder if it's possible for our communities to move away from debate and into discussion. That's the goal. That's the dream. And that's why y'all should look up Star Wars English class on your local podcast channel, because that is two English teachers approaching Star Wars from that perspective of how it pertains to English, to storytelling past, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah, I think, and to that sentiment, I think our community, for the most part, excels in discussion, because oftentimes when we find ourselves in a rebuttal state, it is people who are just violently wrong about things. You know, in our latest episode is somebody who's saying that Kenobi flopped because Star Wars called everybody a racist. Willow flopped because
when did this happen? Also, Fern, I want to be on Star Wars English class. I would love to be on it. I'm promoting myself, but as soon as the strike's over,
absolutely.
One day I'll be cool enough to be on that show.
Listen,
One
you're
day,
cool enough to be
anyway.
on our show.
It took so long.
Well, schedules and everything, you know.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm not on the streets like you guys are when it comes to like fandom discussion of Star Wars, because like I said, I don't have the heart to debate with people, you know. I really don't, you know. And like I mean, I come from a communications background, so I'm like analyzing these things from that sense. So I love to like delve deep into these themes and tropes and all this stuff. And sometimes, like the whole cinema syndication thing and the whole science thing, sometimes like people just don't want to. The structure is not there to have a proper discussion. You know, like the base isn't there to have like a proper discussion on this. You know, again, it's very sad. You know, like I can't properly talk to you about Romeo and Juliet if you don't know, like, if you haven't read it. You know what I mean? I was trying to think of some non-struck work.
But that's largely
You know?
the issue with us. I mean, a lot of times we're correcting people on things that they haven't read. You know, when there is canon lore, and they leave it up to a misinterpretation of it. Like, just Film Theory came out with a video that
All these theory channels, theory this, Star Wars theory, Marvel theory, all these theory. It's so weird, so interesting. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, no, they not to go into detail, but they released another video theory that was like so off base and just frustrating.
Yeah.
But real quick, I want to shout out Lord Bloodsith wants to know. Thanks for tuning in. And you know, Fern is saying that they'd love to have you.
Really? Did Fern actually say that?
We would love to have
Really?
you. Seriously, we've been on an extended hiatus, but the plan is to ease back into recording soon.
Hell
but,
yeah. Wouldn't that be so fun?
That
Actually,
would be cool. I would check that out. Also, Fern, if you'd like to have me on there, I'd like to come too. But
wait, no, that's not fair. You can't plug yourself until you plug me.
I smell profit.
Connor super chatted a 96 cents ramen drop.
Hey, Connor, thanks for the 96 ramen drop. Appreciate you. Also appreciate you for 27 months of Dyad Squad.
bro, I'm just
get
trying to
out
ride on
there.
your coattails, man.
No, here are 5 reasons why I should be on Star Wars English class and not Darth Choco. No, I mean, because you know what's funny though? Actually, last time I run Script Club, which is really fun. We read movie scripts and then we
Yeah,
perform
I would
them.
love to join at some point.
No, I tried to get you on the Star Wars one. We did
If
the
you
Empire
have
Strikes Back
any,
one.
if you have any scripts that involve Nicolas Cage, let me know.
No, here's the thing. Because there was supposed to be a Halloween one, and it's just too late to put together because of the strikes. And that's very sad. Because it was going to be Scream or Scooby-Doo. And so when we did Empire Strikes Back last year, oh, it was so fun. It was like really fun because I'm not asking. I don't want people to do impressions. I want you to do it in a weird way. And what I mean by that is like one of the cool things about Script Club is that it gave us a new way to engage with the text, and like we're not like redoing the whole, like we're not like putting costumes on or something like that, you know what I mean? But it's like it gave me a new love and appreciation for the source material once we read Empire Strikes Back. And I mean, if the strike is over, I want to do another Star Wars for winter time because that was fun. We got to do another one, and you should be on it. Maybe we'll pick another Star Wars.
I want to be on it too.
Yeah, you guys could be in it. Of course, it's just a Discord invite. We did Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I couldn't work the schedule last time, but yeah.
Part of me wants to. If I did another Star Wars, I feel as though Attack of the Clones would be really fun.
Just because of the Shakespearean nature of it.
Exactly. I feel like that's ripe for reinterpretation. My second, if I can find the script for
Anakin.
Rogue One,
Master Obi-Wan would be very grumpy if he saw this.
Grumpy.
That was my Anakin impression.
Oh, okay. Is that your audition?
God. No.
Okay, it's either Attack of the Clones or Rogue One, or I mean, I want maybe do the prison escape from Andor. Oh man!
If you just do that episode,
it's like 3 episodes. If we just do those 3 back to back to back, I think that's a good play. But number 1 is probably Attack of the Clones. If
I'd
the
like to sign
strikes
up for
are
the
over,
Prison Break. I'd like to
Prison Break. If people would watch it, I mean, like I love doing it, but I'm not gonna do it for nobody. I'm not doing it for myself. You know what I mean? Like people gotta watch it. But I will say we did Avengers on one, and Avengers was, in my opinion, produced better than Star Wars, but less people watched Avengers. It was sad, but hey, it's a whole nother pod,
Yeah, I actually want to start doing videos with deep fake of Nicolas Cage, but I want to do like readings from Star Wars. So like I wanted to put Nicolas Cage on Qui-Gon.
No,
and just be like the kid,
Anakin, no.
the kid's a virgin in the Force, and I feel like just kind of read it the way Nick would instead of kind of redo Qui-Gon. So like if Obi-Wan was like it's off the charts, it's more than Yoda, like that's very interesting, that's not something we've run into before, so that means the kid's the chosen one. It's just a different reading, and we would and if someone had another like character that they could do, we could do that. If somebody has like a Willem Dafoe, I would love someone to read Palpatine as Willem Dafoe.
Ooh, recasting Star Wars. That's a whole TikTok series to do.
Yeah.
I recasted I recasted Star Wars with black people before the strikes. Maybe I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh. You never know. That's good content, AMTP, that you're missing out on. That's for free. For free.
You know what else is good content? A little anime by the name of One Piece that I know, Justin, you started watching. Pep is also in the early stages of One Piece. I'm on episode 517. I'm curious, what do you guys think?
I made the joke
One
earlier,
Piece
Justin.
is.
I said he pressed play and lived life with One Piece in the background.
I'm not nearly that far. I'm not even close.
Listen,
Yeah,
I
I'm on
started
episode-
watching.
I'm on 80.
I started watching One Piece in 2017, but it's only been in earnest now. I'm curious where you're at, Justin.
They, okay, so Luffy and the gang somehow got eaten by a whale or something, and then there's this whale, and then there's this weird old guy. I'm not sure if he lives in the whale or outside the whale or something or other.
Yeah.
I don't. This
You're a
part
couple
where I'm kinda like,
episodes.
what is happening right
You're
now?
a couple
you know?
episodes before me.
Okay, and if we're gonna delve into One Piece, I'm wondering. How do I say this? I'm wondering when the budget's gonna kick in. Maybe I started too early, you know. Where I'm like, okay, like
It is an old show.
it's an old show. I was like, when's the budget gonna kick in here? Because like I'm watching it, and you know, I'm not that big of an anime person. The only anime that I watched like from start to finish because I was there at the ground level was Naruto. I didn't even watch Naruto.
And you can tell when the budget happened, right? When it
Yes,
went from
you can
4.3 to 16.9,
Yeah,
and you started getting HD episodes. That's
like
crazy. How
oh
that happened,
man, I loved Naruto. Like that was my jam, man. But speaking of One Piece, I'm wondering. I've gotten past like the hump that I did beforehand because I never made it out of what was it? Sharpshooter, Usopp's plot. With the cat guy before, I was like, oh man, okay. And then I just powered through this time because of like the adaptation that came out. I was like, okay, I'm just powering through. And it's very silly, more silly than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Way more silly. I'm wondering, because people are like having these like heartfelt like moments on talking about it online. I'm like, when's the heartfelt moment happening? And then it did happen when we got to when
Nami's
we met
village, I
her
knew it.
sister and stuff. And I was like, okay, now it's actually getting good. And they did the thing like Luffy puts the hat on Nami and he's like, let's go. And then all the dudes are like, let's go. Cool. I was like, yeah, that would be business. And that was good. And that's when I was like, okay, I'll keep watching this when I have time. But overall, One Piece, good so far. You know?
You are describing exactly my feels on it because what he said about pressing play and letting life go, that's largely what I did at the beginning because it wasn't gripping me. And I was like, why do all my friends love this so much? I get it's happening to me, but I don't feel the connection. And then it slowly starts hitting you, and it hits you more and more. And when you get to Nico Robin's backstory, for me, one of my top characters, bar none, ever in fiction.
I don't think I've met Nico Robin.
You probably haven't.
Nico Robin.
Her power is grotesque as well, but
We haven't met her yet.
yeah. As it goes on, the thing that kind of reigns true is the true love that this crew has for each other is entirely earned by the show, by what you have seen happen on screen earns it. You're never told it, you feel it. And that's why it stands the test of time. But the early days, rough.
Yeah. I'm wondering when it's gonna get like real good, you know. So far, I stopped making videos about it because people kept spoiling me, you know, which is not fun. Like prime example, I was like, ooh, what if Gold Roger was Luffy's dad and he died and then Shanks went to go take care of him? I think that's pretty good. That would be pretty cool. And then someone was like, actually, no. Luffy's dad is like a really bad guy, and Gold D. Rogers' son is Luffy's brother, but then he gets killed by like one guy. I'm like, whoa, what? Wait, what the hell? Like, what's going on? I'm like, whoa, Luffy has a brother? He dies? Like, bro, come on, man.
I did have that spoiled for me, but as someone who had that spoiled, it still hits when it happens. It still hits.
I guess. But I was like, I can't even get in the right headspace to be mad about it because I don't even know what any of the words that they said mean. You know, it's like, I guess, like, what the heck?
I mean, considering how old the show is, I'm a little bit more in the headspace of being forgiving about stumbling onto or being corrected, because like, you know, making a theory video, like we're in the middle of Supernatural.
I'm so sorry.
And we are we're waiting for the strikes to be over to continue into
Season 1
2.
ended, and then we took a brief pause, and then the strike started.
Yeah.
No.
So like,
They could be dead in a car accident for all I know. God
Yeah.
damn it.
So like during their reactions, we have to tell people, it's like, no spoilers, please, no spoilers. But we know they're out there, and so like when we ask people, when people were like, you should react to their bloopers or their PaleoFest stuff, I'm like, great, send us a link of their PaleoFest stuff up to season 2, because we know if we watch anything just Supernatural related, it's just gonna be, you know, content that is all inclusive of the entire franchise. And so yeah, the spoilers are going to be out there. In terms of One Piece, I'm a little bit more forgiving on that front, but I don't seek it out.
Do you guys,
but
the whale that you guys are experiencing currently, have you been told the name of the whale?
if we have, I don't remember.
I'm sure they have. I can't tell you.
I'm just
I
trying to
can't
remember
tell you.
if it's Laboon or not.
It's Laboon? Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure they said it. I couldn't tell you a lot of their names. I'm that kind of moviegoer. I'm like, all right, the cook,
Okay.
there's sharpshooter, Zoro with the swords, and Nami and Luffy.
Sanji
That's fair.
is the cook.
Yes.
You said
of
Usopp.
course.
Usopp is the sharpshooter.
Oh, Usopp, also very cool. Didn't realize he was black. Apparently he is.
He was
If he
always
is, I have some
intended to be
questions.
from Africa, but
Is he black?
is he black? I don't know. He's African.
Is Usopp black?
Usopp is African.
He's light skinned.
I ain't never see a black man with that nose though. His nose is vaguely phallic, and I'm offended.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
never see anybody with rubber skin and devil fruits, so I guess it is all up to, like, you know, the standards of fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to address Captain Benny in the chat. Who would you cast as Christopher Walken in Star Wars? Tara Sanube.
There's a lot of
Christopher
proper
Walken?
nouns that I did not know, but I'm happy for you though.
Christopher Walken. I'm gonna need. There's only two possibilities for me. He has to be either Tarkin, or we can fast forward to the sequels and have him be Hux. Just because I want to hear Hux's speech from Christopher Walken.
Caden did say Tarkin in there. I don't know why my picks are always like just to kind of play around with the character, because like interestingly enough, Walken is another impression that I do, and just to kind of imagine Ahsoka and Tara Sanube just kind of roaming around the halls of the temple, and then he's like, you've got to slow down. Sometimes it's just patience, you know. Wow, Anakin. Have you seen Clone Wars?
I saw the show. Yeah. Introduction of the Ahsoka Tano. Yeah, I saw Clone Wars.
Yeah, so that Tara Sanube was the person that helped her get her lightsabers back. It's the really old dude with the cane saber.
Things do not end up well for him. That's all I'll say.
Ube. Tara is, you know what? I'm just gonna believe you. I'm just gonna believe you. I'll just believe you. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just I would also like to see Christopher Walken as Hux as well. That would be cool. And then we would get meme videos and like, today is my birthday. Oh man. Any other anime in your life? Your lives?
No, I'm not cool enough. I mean, I just watched Naruto as it came out, and that's it.
I gotta suggest to you. Somebody said Matt Short, or somebody said earlier that they just caught up with Frieren Beyond Journey's End, and it's crazy good. And I have to recommend it to you. It is Frier.
Hold on.
Friren.
E-N. Beyond Journey's End. Got it. Okay.
And like, it is literally just a story about what happens after. Right? So it's literally an epilogue, but it's, you know, it's a story you don't really consider that you want to hear, but it's so beautiful and it's so touching. Because like we often play our games and our RPGs and our action adventures for the grand set piece of defeating the final boss, but this anime starts after they've done that, and like, so what do we do now? So it's one of those stories.
All right, it is in the list. I will watch it.
Thank
And
you
then,
very much.
and then for me to just toss a quick recommendation at you. It's a short anime, but we recently rewatched the first episode, and it's so damn good. It still holds up. Samurai Champloo.
Shampoo with an L
I've heard that name.
and a C.
I think it was on like Adult Swim.
It was
I
on
remember
Adult Swim. Samurai Champloo with an L, and yeah.
Isn't he supposed to
it
be
out.
black?
No,
it's
but the
Afro
show
Samurai.
is
Sorry.
the show is very
That's
black.
Afro Samurai.
I'm sorry.
It's taking samurai culture and mixing it with hip hop, and like it just works.
Okay.
Charles Olson, it was Frieren. Frieren.
How are you doing, Charles? We gotta catch up.
Didn't the writer of One Piece say the IRL ethnicities of the Straw Hats? Yes.
Yes.
Another one that I just started as well, and it just premiered this week. It's only has one episode. It's very easy to catch up if you guys want to watch it. It's called Shangri-La Frontier, and I have a feeling that's going to be the next SAO, but better. And also, I say that with knowing that SAO it can be bad at some points. But check out Shangri-La Frontier as well. It gives me Log Horizon vibes, and if you don't know Log Horizon, it is an anime for the most MMO of MMORPG people. You know, it talks about tanks, healers, and game mechanics, and so like if you're into all that, Shangri-La Frontier. And if you have time, go back and watch Log Horizon because.
Okay.
Let's see here. Charles said, I saw Empire Strikes Back live with the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra.
Ooh, that sounds
would be
fun.
That'd be dope. Oh man. Oh, the X-Wing moment. Would love to see that. Wouldn't we? We would love to see.
we would love to see that, Lee. We would love to see. Now, I always say it, but the asteroid belt theme in Star Wars is my favorite theme, and to see that performed live would just be incredible.
Oh.
Okay, I'll check it out. Wait, asteroid belt? How's that go?
Whew, it has a lot of notes from the Imperial March.
There's a lot of notes.
It's a song.
It's but it has like the whimsical nature of fleeing the Empire, and then it gets into that, and then you're and then you feel like you're flying through space, and it's wonderful.
Give us your acapella version of it.
We'll make it work.
Someday I'll work on that.
We should do it now live with all the latency and lag. Give us a note, Choco.
No.
No. He says
The
no.
first I thought of a note, but it ended up sounding really, really mean in my head. So I was like, nope, can't say that.
Oh man. What else can we talk about?
My dog is getting restless, so I might have to peace out.
If that's the case, then we could wrap it up here. I mean,
No, I think we had a great conversation, and yeah, we're doing the thing. Is there anything that is big that is coming up for you for the Freddy's Roommate channel, for you and your wife? Anything you want to share with the audience?
If you like trashy reality television, I'm doing a podcast with Decoding Reality, David Chen. We're covering Love is Blind, and I'm covering The Golden Bachelor with Deja Talks TV, and it is wonderful television. So if you like those things, and it's like non-strike related, please, you'd love these podcasts. Go listen to them. Decoding Reality, wherever podcasts are sold.
awesome. Yeah, go ahead and follow at Freddy's Roommate. It's written on top of his viewport right there. If you don't follow him already, thank you to everyone for tuning into another episode of Dyad in the Force. Again, just to announce again, our community Discord is now open. So if you want to join, just go on over to dyadintheforce.com/discord or dyadintheforce.com/discord. We'd love to have you. And we're also looking to revamp the book club as well, which will involve weekly readings on Dyad, just so it makes it easy for everyone to keep along and keep up.
And also keep you guys' eyes on the progress of the actors strike, because I feel like a lot of us content creators are like Goku when we've been collecting energy for the spirit bomb.
Hey, let me know when you talk about
6 or
Ahsoka.
7 episodes. Yeah.
Let me know when you talk about Ahsoka, because I have some thoughts. I have a bevy of thoughts to talk about.
Get
that
ready
show.
to come on next week if all goes
I mean,
well on Monday.
yeah.
Share your energy with me. Yeah, that's what we've been doing. We're gonna let it loose. As well as I mentioned it before, but there will be a Return of the High Ground podcast, and we'll go Ahsoka episode by episode.
It's
For
returned?
anyone, somehow, the High Ground has returned. Just to go episode by episode for anyone who wanted to talk about it week to week but hasn't been able to. I want to give us that outlet.
Have me on for episode 8.
All right. Will do.
All right. Well, looks like that'll wrap things up for this episode of Dyad in the Force. Thanks once again to everyone for tuning in on the YouTube side and for tuning in on the TikTok side. Again, follow at Freddy's Roommate and follow Darth Choco. And so you can stay up to date for when the High Ground clones itself and returns whenever that happens. But that's it. On to the next one.
For Light and for Life.
We are all the Dyad.
And give Freddy's Roommate a follow if you're not already. He's great.
Thanks.
May the Force be with you.